Hi, I'm Robert Dittman, one of the educators with Blind Shooting LLC. And today we're here at Nardis Gun Range to prove a point. And that is that blind and visually impaired people, if properly trained in the fundamentals of firearm safety, can in fact join our community just like everyone else. So let's go inside. I'm here with my seeing eye dog, Brandon. So let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Hey, Chris, you here?
Yeah.
How are you?
Hi, good.
Hey,
Good. I might send you over this way to James, because I'm working with somebody right now.
How's it going? So we're doing a little filming today. Bring us back, so we appreciate it. To a point, blind people can shoot. There's actually people that they don't use blind. So, all right, you're gonna have to prove it.
You shoot just that well.
That's nice. Yeah. So here's my ID card.
Thank you very much.
Can I get a B-27?
Yeah, sure. The carnal target?
No, Bravo 27. It's the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
No problem. Appreciate it. So before we go in the range, I'm here with Chris Brookins. He's the acting range master. You're the range master? Yep. Okay, cool. And just want to ask your thoughts. What do you have, or do you have any kind of comment? It's obviously your personal opinion. We understand that. But as someone who works with firearms and people, do you have any particular comment as to blind or visually impaired people joining shooting sports, firearms, using weapons, or firearms for hunting and that sort of thing?
Ultimately, safety is number one. I have no problem with somebody coming in that wants to learn how to shoot or wants to be able to get into the sport, as long as they're safe. That's the big number one. If you're going to come in, you're having issues seeing downrange, that could potentially be a problem, but as long as you're being safe, there's no issues.
So, and you know that I'm totally blind.
Absolutely.
So is there anything that you've seen over the last, what is it, almost been a year since I've been shooting here? Any kind of comments or anything you've observed or anything you'd like to share with people that might think, you know what, I think I want to get into this?
Don't stand downrange of you? Be a bad idea.
Yeah?
Not for, me not being visually impaired and having gone through the military, I've seen a lot of folks that act like they're visually impaired, and I've seen a lot of really poor shooters. The fact that you're able to still hit your bullseye and have no idea what you're looking at is astounding. I absolutely believe that, if someone is your situation, come in here and get a little bit of practice in, they should have no problem being able to hit that target every single time.
We appreciate that, and that's what we're trying to accomplish here at Blind Shooting LLC, is to give people the confidence and the ability to be safe with firearms, but to join a really fun community and a really fun sport. So with that, I appreciate it. We'll hit the range.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, pal. So before we hit the range, there's one more thing we have to talk about that's unique to persons who are blind and visually impaired. If you don't have a cane, if you have a cane, it's not so much of an issue. If you're a dog guide user, for instance, I use a seeing eye dog, you want to think of them as well. Absolutely, they're willing to come with us to the range, but we have to think of their safety and their hearing. So what I do, and this is going to be up to your range, they're not required to watch your dog. They're not required to have a place to have your dog. That's all our responsibility, as you know. But you want to kind of have a nice, comfortable place that they're happy so you can enjoy the line. Lastly, but certainly not least, at least with Blind Shooting LLC, we promote that you bring a sighted, fully sighted range partner. And we'll talk more about that when we get on the line. My range partner happens to be my wife, who is also an instructor, presenter with the company, but she's also doing the filming today, and we do appreciate that. So let's go ahead and get Brandon secured, and then we'll go ahead and hit the line. So, one last thing. If you're interested, and we don't work for this company, but we thought it was cool, there is actually hearing protection and eye protection for dogs. This is a company called Mutt Muffs. We don't work with them. We're not affiliated with them, but they're a great product. And so if something works good, you might as well use it. So we'll get him secured, and then we'll go to the bay. Okay, so here we are on the firing line. So we lucked out that Chris has volunteered to go ahead and record with him being a range master. I'm sure we'll get some great footage and we'll all be safe. My wife is functioning as what we call a range partner. That's a combination of a safety spotter as well as somebody to call out the target, and you'll see how that works in a minute. We'll be shooting at a range of 9 feet, 2 different sidearms. One of them is a Walther PPK S22, and the other is a Arms Corporation Luger 22 long rifle. So let's get started. Is the target set?
Target's not set.
Target's not set. Okay, we'll wait.
9 feet.
9 feet high. Now, if you notice that we're constantly in communication, that's important. So that you know exactly what your safety spotter / partner is doing, and she knows that you know what's going on. That's very important in this particular hobby.
It's a human silhouette.
Okay, human silhouette.
Stepping out of the line.
Okay, I'll be ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, approaching the firing line.
Approaching.
Okay. The first thing you do is assume that all weapons are loaded. So we're going to pop the magazine. We're going to check the action. Can you verify that there's nothing in this weapon?
Clear.
Very well. Some magazines, even the best of them, can be a little dodgy. There we go. Loading 110 round magazine.
Loading 110 round magazine.
The weapon is on safe.
Safety.
Okay. Pulling out 1 Walther PPK. I'm going to clear this weapon as well. Always keep your weapon pointed in a safe direction. Okay, can you clear this or verify this weapon is clear?
Clear.
Okay. Okay, we'll start out with the Walther. Loading 110 round magazine.
Loading 110.
Safety is off. Shooter ready.
Shooter ready. Barrel up. Shooter ready. Ten. 9 go up. 10 go down. 10 a hair up. Bullseye. Up a little bit. Down a little bit on 10. Hair up.
Say again.
Hair up. A little bit to the right.
Magazine clear.
Magazine clear.
Loading 110 round magazine.
Loading 1 mag.
Shooter ready.
Arm down. Shooter ready. Right.
Say again.
Go to the right. Go to the right. To the right. Go to the right. Barrel up.
Magazine clear. Magazine clear. Last 10 round magazine. Last 10 round mag. Now, if you could call out the score as opposed to direction, that would be helpful. Will do. Shooter ready. Shooter ready. Shooter ready. Right. 9, right. 10 left. 10 down. Bullseye. Bullseye. 10 up. 10 up. 9 right. 9 bottom. Let me clear. Let me clear. Picking up the Luger. Shooter ready. Arm down. Shooter ready. Misfire. Misfire. Shooter ready. Shooter ready. Again, misfire. Clearing weapons. Clearing weapons. So what I'm doing now is sometimes magazines will fail to feed. Again, this is a very old gun. It belonged to my dad. And I have fired it before, but sometimes, just like anything, it can be a little dodgy. All right. Loading 110 round magazine. Loading 110 round mag. Again, it's failing to feed. One more time. If you could approach the firing line. Approaching. Go check this magazine for me, please. Sometimes when you load a magazine, the rounds fail to seat. And that's something you can probably tell by feel. However, it's always better if you can use your range partner, kind of look and see what you're missing. That would be true whether you can see or whether you can't. It just helps. Are you ready? Shooter ready. Loading 110 round magazine. Loading 110 round mag. Weapon is on, ready. Shooter ready. Arm down. Shooter ready. Firing. Firing. Misfire. Barrel up. Okay. Shooter ready. Up. What's the score? 9. No, it's 8 on the right. 8 on the right. Okay. 9 right. 10 up. 9 up, down. Bullseye. 10 to the right. Bullseye. Let me clear. Okay, so we'll take a second and we'll clear the firing line and we'll go back and have a conversation with Chris, with Joe, and see what they can tell us. So we'll see you outside on the firing line. Yeah, awesome. Sorry about that, guys. What I forgot is it might be helpful if you actually visually saw my target. You want to point out what you see?
So we have the 9 ring, and then we have a good majority in the 10 ring, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exactly in the bullseye or the center of mass. And then we have a few more just right outside the range.
Outstanding. Okay. So So you can see that clearly. We'll go ahead and have a conversation with Chris and Joe and the rest of the staff when we go outside off the line. I'm sure they may have some interesting things to say. So I'm Rob with Blind Shooting LLC, and we'll see you outside. So we're here with Chris again. This is Robert Dittman with Blind Shooting LLC. And Chris, you're the range master. Why don't you kind of explain what you do, and since you were there, what you saw?
My primary job is to make sure everyone in the range is safe, make sure that everyone gets checked in and checks out the way that they came in. As far as being on the range, you followed your instruction to the point. You did exactly what she told you to do. You have a couple little hiccups there. I heard it. You heard it. We all heard it. But you still kept your target. I did notice that when she was counting off your target, she said 5 bullseyes, but there were in fact 6. So a huge plus there.
I didn't see it, so I missed one. Oh well.
Hey,
But-
you always have to have a comedic relief in there.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
always throws it. You know.
Well, it's a fun hobby. We need to be safe, and that's important, but that doesn't mean we
Absolutely.
can't have a good time.
Absolutely.
Did you notice anything about technique or anything? Because keep in mind, as a blind shooter, I can't see. I only know what, where we can talk all day about fundamentals of presentation and everything else, but what was the technical aspect of the shooting that you observed? Good, bad, or indifferent? Your personal opinion.
Well, going into the lane, going into the range rather, you stayed safe. You had your spotter, make sure that all your stuff was on the table. You pulled everything out of your holster as well as the pouch you have on your hip there.
Sure.
Kept it pointed downrange. You didn't present anywhere else. You didn't point the weapon anywhere other than downrange. You kept everything safe. What was that?
Do you ever have a problem with people presenting their weapon anywhere other than downrange? Is that a common thing that range
All the
masters
time.
see? What,
All the time.
what are some of the unsafe things that you see as a range master that you want blind or visually impaired shooters to know so that we can avoid them?
Keep all handling at the firing line. If you have a malfunction, stay calm, keep collected, try to handle it to the best of your ability, and if you can't, always have your spotter come in and double check, just like you did when you had a couple of misfires.
And I guess lastly, is there anything about technique? I mean, you watch shooters all the time. Do you ever teach?
Me, no.
Okay.
I'm in charge of the instructors.
Okay, but you do, I'm sure, see people all the time when they shoot. Is there anything specifically about the technique of a blind shooter that might be different than someone who can see? Or is it pretty much the same? I mean, what are your opinions on that?
Well, a blind shooter presents its own complications. Again, you being visually impaired, I can't sit there and tell you this is where you need to look, this is how you need to point down or look down your sights.
Especially the fact that I'm totally blind. I can't
Right.
see at all.
Exactly, making it that much more complicated to try to get you on point. But I do notice, I recall a couple of times that you've come in, you've had a laser sight on the bottom of your barrel. That helps out tremendously.
And you notice I don't have one anymore
I did notice, yes.
on my Walther PPK.
I did notice.
Just because that's my carry weapon, being licensed to carry, I carry a firearm every day.
Right.
I'm not going to have time in a self-defense incident to, hold on, wait, let me turn on my laser.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to happen. But for practice and to get that muscle memory, that's something that I had in the beginning. And of course, when I use my AR-15, I have a laser on there as well. So, but nothing in presentation or muzzle control or breath discipline is any different than someone you can see.
No, absolutely not. You kept everything where it needed to be. If I had any of my regulars come in here, you've been doing the exact same thing that they do.
Awesome. So,
Excellent presentation, excellent muzzle control, excellent breathing technique and posture. You did a pretty good job.
thank you. Thank you. So, any final comments to try to encourage people to join our hobby safely and effectively?
Don't be afraid of the range masters or the RSOs if they tell you no. That's, more power to you. You can always go find another range. 9 times out of 10, a range master or range safeties will be more than willing to help you.
Again, we really appreciate Nardis Gun Club for reaching out and allowing us to shoot the video today, no pun intended, and really to being supportive of this project. I mean, Blind Shooting LLC would not be possible if it wasn't for people saying yes. And so we really appreciate Nardis Gun Club being part of the best of the firearms community. So thanks a lot, pal.
Yeah, man.
I'll see you on the range.